Joe Biden. Whisper
Joe
sweet
Biden?
nothings into
Joe
my
Biden.
Joe
ear
Biden.
anytime.
Biden
Joe
our
Biden.
time,
Joe
man.
Biden. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
So I wrote a song for the intro, by the way.
Nice.
Awesome.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Whatever. I guess
Do it.
we
Let's
started.
do
Yeah.
it live.
All right. Okay, don't say shit in between it, so you're gonna throw off my fucking
Okay.
Are we live
my
yet?
song
Yes,
cadence.
we're live. There's only one live.
All right. Here's a story of a bear named Teddy who was online when he met this guy once. That guy said, "Hey, dude, can you be our token?" But then that guy left because he's a cunt. We've also got this guy by the name of Oracle, who's been around since day one. Sometimes he gets drunk and yells at co-eds, but at least he didn't show them his hairy nuts. The baby of the group is named Ashtray. He replaced the cunt whose name I forgot. Ashtray's kind of slow, but we love his antics, even when he can't remember stuff. Then one day these assholes met this fat man, shit my bad, who said, "Hey guys, let's meet up and talk some shit." That was half a decade or more ago though, after so many dick jokes and floppy tits. The Red Eye Report, ba-dum, the Red Eye Report, ba-dum, and that's the way we became the Red Eye Report.
Wow.
So you stole the
Nice.
Brady Bunch's thing and just put it to words.
No, did not.
Not at all. Not at all. It was a
Shut your
totally
mouth.
original sitcom song,
Steal anything.
right? We only had a pilot.
Anyway,
Nice.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Red Eye Report. Tonight we're talking about sitcoms, which is short for situation comedy. It's a genre of comedy
I'm not sure
set
if
on
I
a
even knew
fixed.
that. Situation comedy is what sitcoms stand for.
It's a genre of comedy centered on a fixed set of characters, carry over from episode to episode. Sitcoms can be contrasted with sketch comedy or Ashtray's asshole. So, anyway, mockumentaries can also be involved in that. Just like the super famous The Office, which is probably the most famous mockumentary there is. It's usually, or it used to be anyway, used to be filmed in front of a live studio audience, and that's kind of what set them apart, was that they were multi-camera live in front of a studio audience.
Right.
But
And why they always had like a
Yeah.
one-sided scene.
What's up, Travis?
Or I mean, the stage was always like one side of the apartment.
right. Yeah, because they had to put the camera somewhere, obviously.
Well, an audience had to be on one side.
But nowadays, a lot of
Thank
them
you,
are
Ashtray.
single camera productions, which are edited, obviously, and not in front of a studio lot. The term situational comedy or sitcom was not commonly used up until the 1950s. There were prior examples on radio, but the first television sitcom is said to be Pinwright's Progress, which was a 10-episode broadcast on the BBC between 1946 and 47. No idea what it's about, don't really care. In the United States, director and producer William Asher has been credited with being the man who invented the sitcom. He's directed over 24 of the leading sitcoms, including I Love Lucy between the 50s through the 70s. So he's kind of like he was the trailblazer of sitcoms, I guess.
The Steven Spielberg of sitcoms.
There you go, yeah. So let's start out. The other countries have sitcoms. Obviously, they're not as famous as American or British sitcoms. So Australia, which actually they have their own ABC, but it's called the Australian Broadcasting Company, which is weird.
That's true. I've seen documentaries by that age.
So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of any of these. 81 Daily at Dawn. We wouldn't know any of this shit.
Oh.
Kathy and Kim. Nobody gives a fuck about that.
Just get to Cheers.
Yeah, right. Canada. They have had some notable ones. The Trailer Park Boys being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Schitt's Creek.
That's international.
Which I call Letterkenny. Schitt's Creek is actually pretty funny.
Oh wait, Schitt's Creek is Letterkenny.
I've heard about people talk about that. When I was
No,
thinking about
Schitt's
trying to
Creek
watch
is a different show. Letterkenny is a different show than Schitt's Creek.
Oh,
They're
okay.
both Canadian.
I've heard of both, but I haven't watched any of them.
Corner Gas is also one that I've seen. It's not very good though.
What are you doing
I
to
think
your
Trailer
cats?
He's drunk. He
kinda
doesn't know what he's
weird.
doing again.
Trailer Park Boys is probably the best Canadian one. India's
Milking
got
the
some.
purrs.
India's got some ones that I can't pronounce, so we're just gonna move on. In Mexico, the most famous one was El Chavo del Ocho, which ran from 71 to 80.
Chapo del Ocho, like the short something.
It had, I have no idea. It had 350 million viewers per episode at
Holy
its peak.
fuck.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's
only have like one channel in
way-
Mexico, so it's not like
that is
fucking-
way more than fucking anything
One
I've
channel
ever
in
had.
Mexico.
it's Mexico.
I'm sure
bro.
Mexico has at least 3.
Well, it didn't just air in Mexico though either. It was all of Hispanic. So
Central
Brazil,
America.
Spain, or not
Yeah.
Spain, but Brazil,
They speak
Central and
Portuguese.
Southern America.
They speak Portuguese in Brazil, so
Well, I don't know what to tell you. That's what it says. The show continues to be popular
Oh, they
actually
must
in
have had
Brazil
a Portuguese.
and
oh
Spain.
wow, okay, well, maybe yeah.
It's dude, the countries connect. I'm sure the language is pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So New
Just like
Zealand,
Portugal and Spain are fucking, they're right next to each other.
so that's what I'm saying.
Portugal's like a tumor on Spain if you look at it geographically.
Isn't that what I said? Why is that so funny now?
Because I was
Because
laughing
he's
at.
drunk.
Holy fuck, Asher. So Russia. This is some interesting shit. Their first sitcom wasn't until 1996. It was on the Russian something channel.
Because they weren't allowed to laugh until then.
Right, yeah. But they had
Yeah,
adaptations, basically. They didn't have an original sitcom until 2007.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
called Daddy's Daughters. And then another one of their
Daughters,
they have
that
two
sounds
main-
kind of perverted.
right? And then they had one called Interns. All the rest of them were like offshoots of American sitcoms. So they had like My Fair Nanny, which was The Nanny. I actually
Fran
watched this
Dresser in
documentary
Russian.
about it. It was called Exporting Raymond. It was the guy who created Everybody Loves Raymond. He went to Russia to try to make that show. And like they didn't understand the humor. Like there's one episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, I think it was the first one, where the whole ongoing joke of the episode is that they came home from vacation and that nobody wanted to put the luggage away. You know what I mean? So they just
Yeah.
left it sit by the door.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, yeah, the wife didn't want to do it and the husband didn't want to do it, and Russians didn't understand it. It was like a cultural thing. They were like,
Yeah.
we just make women do it. What do you mean?
Yeah. We
Like
yell at them. till
it
they
was
do
just a woman's job. Like it just didn't translate at all to their
If
culture.
it wasn't done, it was woman problem.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's that's quite funny about
He actually
Russia.
decided I'm gonna go to Russia and make my
Yeah.
my
yeah.
sitcom.
Well, they paid him to go there, and like after a
Oh,
while,
they basically
yeah.
finance him to come over. I thought he just thought he could export the idea.
So did they
No.
figure it out eventually?
No, I think it flopped because there's no way that they could figure out
nothing's
subtle
funny
comedy
on
like
Russia.
that. No,
Yes.
nothing is funny.
Just need to beat
Everything
a
is
raccoon
fun.
to death. That'll make the Russians
What is it with
laugh.
you and beat animals to death? Jesus Christ.
If you can't
Hey.
beat him,
Hey,
right.
I'm a
Never know.
Russian comedy genius, Teddy.
Yeah.
Ahead of my fucking time, dude.
Okay,
It's a
so
psycho.
We did
United
appreciate his
Kingdom,
art.
United Kingdom, their most one of the biggest ones that they've ever had was The Office, actually, which is only 3 seasons.
I would have thought Doctor Who was. I would have thought Doctor Who was bigger.
That's
No.
not a sitcom.
Yeah, that would be a
Sitcom?
sitcom.
That's a drama.
Okay.
The Office was a big one. So was Faulty Towers,
I've seen some of those. John
Blackadder,
Cleese.
Yes Minister. I don't know what the fuck that even is. We all know the American ones. We're not going to go over that shit. So U.S. radio had a lot of sitcoms in the 20s and shit. Amos and Andy. I remember my grandma talking about stuff like that. Jack Benny, Fibber McGee and Molly. That was cool, I guess, in the 40s.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Fibber
That was
McGee
cool.
and Molly, yeah. So yeah, I guess. Do you guys want to go over the American ones? Because like one of the first
Well,
comedies.
you can go over the highlights because we can also
Okay,
reminisce
so one of the
about them,
first-
especially the
right.
90s one.
One of the first big sitcoms, obviously, was I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Aired from 51 to 57 on CBS. The Andy Griffith Show was
Yeah.
considered a sitcom, but it like a lot of people
not the same
consider it a
format.
drama.
Was
Yeah,
there ever a black
it wasn't.
person in the Andy Griffith Show?
Well, good
Probably
question.
not. If they were, they were
I don't
going
think
to
so.
jail. They got arrested.
I
Yeah,
watched
the
that
rest
damn
of the
show in the
media heads up.
hospital on fucking repeat, and I don't think I remember seeing any black man.
Right. Biggest, most lucrative American sitcom, obviously, is Seinfeld.
Is this still considered like money wise?
Oh yes. It is estimated that that show has made $3 billion off of
Damn.
syndication.
Wow.
That's a solid fucking show.
You know,
too.
Seinfeld is worth almost $1 billion himself.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
He's worth $955 million. Yes. And name something else other than the B movie in Seinfeld that he's done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's how fucking big that show was.
Yeah, coffee with comedians.
Yeah, but he only does that, dude. That don't make no money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he gets probably a certain amount because it's through Netflix, right? Or
Yeah. Well, he makes money off of it, but that's not.
but like not. He doesn't live.
he
off
makes
that.
more off of Seinfeld, off of syndication
He's
and reruns on
fucking
Seinfeld. Than
he's probably
fucking,
fully invested into
yeah.
to his ears. I can't even imagine having that kind of money to not know what to do with it.
Right.
You drink it all.
So yeah, right.
You think
You
I
mean
could drink
that
that
knows
much
do with-
money? I would be
Yeah,
dead if I drank $1 billion.
Exactly. You die
$1
trying.
billion worth of
I'd die
booze.
trying. I made $1 billion.
Ashtrays
the
like
only
challenge accepted.
thing- Yeah.
So the Honeymooners was another real big one. Aired
yeah.
in 1955.
One of these days, Alan.
Yes.
Straight to the
Straight to the
moon.
moon. So that covers the 50s. We don't need to. 60s, like I said, Andy Griffith Show, the Dick Van Dyke Show was more of a variety show, if you will, I guess. Or was that the Dick Van Dyke Show? Initially aired on
I don't know.
CBS 61 to 66.
The Dick Van Dyke Show, didn't he work at a radio or something like? And it was always in his apartment building.
Yeah, I guess it was. I'm thinking of a different show. Yeah. Okay, so the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I know that was more situation. That was
Yeah.
less situation comedy and more variety.
Well, is it considered variety because it was not, or why is it considered variety?
Sketches, like so.
Hmm.
Sketches without recurring characters is a big thing. That's sitcoms have recurring characters and they follow episodic storylines.
Right.
You know what
So,
I'm saying?
like Mary Tyler Moore would be, I would almost say, kind of like a newsroom.
Well,
Remember
yeah,
that
it
show?
followed, but it had. Did it? I'm thinking of a different.
Mary Tyler Moore, she was, I believe, wasn't it a newsroom in New York?
Yeah. Well,
It was
just-
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah,
It's
you're
on
right.
the
Yeah.
screen.
I made it after all.
Okay, so that ran from 70 to 77. MASH was
Oh, yeah.
one of the
Oh, yeah.
biggest
Fucking
comedies.
loved MASH. I used to watch that with
Yeah.
my grandpa.
That ran for 12 seasons.
Damn.
72 to 83. It actually it was the most watched and highest rated single television episode in the U.S. television history at the time. It had a record breaking 125 million viewers. So it had 60.2% of people watching TV at that one time was watching MASH.
Wow.
That was the last show, the finale show or whatever. So Sanford and Sons, that was a big one. All in the Family.
All in the Family. That's a good show.
Yeah. So 80s, here's another huge one, Cheers, which I love.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That spawned Frasier.
How many seasons did Cheers have? Does it have that
Cheers was
listed?
82 to 93, so 12.
Nice.
The Cosby Show ran from 84 to 92. We won't talk about that.
All the pudding and the sleeping drugs.
Yeah. This is interesting. I didn't know this, but in 2013, the Writers Guild of America named Seinfeld the second best written TV series of all times. Guess what was the first? It wasn't a sitcom.
But it was a TV series?
Yeah.
Wire.
It was on HBO. Close with The Wire. It was on HBO
Wire.
at the same time.
Was it
That's
was
what I
it
said.
the prison one? The prison one?
No,
The Wire.
no, not The Wire.
Not the Wire. Oh, not the
It
Wire?
was on HBO at the same time as The Wire, though.
I don't know.
TV
The
show was on.
Sopranos.
Really?
Fucking
Alright.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
You know, well, I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
I've actually never seen The Sopranos.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never
One
seen
of the
a single
best
episode.
shows ever fucking made. So good.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than the Wire? Shit.
So, yes, it is better than The
I've
Wire.
never seen The Wire either.
Just as good. It's a HBO. You know what I mean? It's those shows are hard to like compare because they are so good at what they do. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Good character building all around.
right. So, The Nanny. That was in the 90s. That was one of the bigger ones in the 90s.
Oh,
I
Fran
remember
Drescher.
that one. yeah.
Fran
I
Drescher.
hated that bitch's voice. God damn.
Right?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was huge, 90 to 96. Friends, 94 to 2004. Frasier was another big one. Obviously, Seinfeld was in the 90s also.
Yeah, well, an ER wouldn't be a sitcom. That'd be a drama.
Yeah. Scrubs.
Roseanne?
Yeah,
wow,
Roseanne.
actually, Frasier with 5 wins in its first 5 seasons for Emmys set the record for most consecutive Emmy wins for Outstanding Comedy Series.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
it has
a
won-
good show.
The series holds the record for most total Emmys, which is 37, shattering the record of 29 set by the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
37. Jesus
I had
Christ.
no idea.
It's considered
had
the
that many
most
fucking Emmys.
successful spin-off series in television history.
How many seasons was Frasier?
Oh, 12.
Jesus, that's as long as
2004.
Cheers was then, wasn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I just think Kelsey Grammer fucking double dipped the living fuck out of that shit, huh?
True.
Yeah, I
He
know,
wasn't
right?
in he wasn't in Cheers until like season.
That's why-
Yeah,
That's why he doesn't have to be in anything anymore either.
right.
I don't know. All the
Except for-
news stories I've heard of him lately, like he's a total fucking asshole, I guess. But
He was in some
Um,
Transformers movie not too long ago.
he doesn't need to act in anything,
He was in X-Men years and
does he?
decade
Yeah,
ago.
the shitty X-Men movies, yeah.
Yeah, he was the fucking. What was his name? Animal.
He played
Or not
the
Animal?
Beast.
The Beast. That's it. Yeah.
Played the Beast.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Really?
He played,
Yeah.
Hank McCoy.
It's fucking
Like
weird.
the old
The
Beast?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he played
the
the older Beast, yeah.
he was only in one movie, I think.
Yeah. My new
So
Sexy's been not making any more goddamn movies.
in the 2000s, yeah, Roseanne. Obviously, we skipped over Roseanne. It's probably the second highest grossing as far as like reruns go, behind Seinfeld.
Roseanne is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does anybody know
Now,
how
I
our
wonder,
new show,
has-
how the new show was doing without her being on it?
Well, has Roseanne Barr been cut off? I mean, I don't think she's been cut off. She can't be cut off from the old reruns.
No, she still owns. She owns those. She owned the production company that created them. That's
Oh,
why
she
she's
did?
still-
Oh,
Well,
wow.
yeah.
She doesn't
So-
just get residual. She's fucking rich as fuck, dude. She ain't got it.
Yeah, for as much as she's like, oh, they kicked me off and blah,
Right.
blah, blah, because
Yeah,
I
don't feel
said
sorry.
some
For her.
dumb
She's worth
shit.
fucking $500 million, for fuck's sake.
Really? Damn. All right,
think.
Roseanne. Well, it's like white trash still feels bad for her. But you see, I saw memes
right.
be like, "Tell me again about white privilege," and it shows a picture of Jesse Smollett next to Roseanne. And it's like, oh, come on.
That's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
Yes. Stupidest fucking shit I ever heard.
It's only because Ashtray said it though.
So, one of the most successful creators and writers, producers is Larry David. Obviously, he created Seinfeld and
That's the Curb Your Enthusiasm guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm has been around for just as long as Seinfeld. 10 seasons.
I'm way behind on that.
And they're 11th. It's a great fucking show. If you like that awkward comedy shit.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 Men, which I've actually never seen an episode of.
It's not bad. I
hate
didn't like
that
it.
show.
Yeah.
That ran for 14 years?
This is still, I thought it was still going.
No, 2015.
Okay.
What's his face? Ashton Kutcher
Yeah, he was
did
on the
the
show.
last number of seasons when they. I don't know
Oh.
how did they got rid of
Charlie
Charlie
Sheen?
Sheen somehow.
Yeah.
Because
I,
that
Yeah.
became whole. Remember it? He had Tiger Blood.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
did
He
not-
went
never
through his
watched-
like crazy phase. No, like he had his meltdown in the public.
Oh, yeah.
Here,
he
do you
was-
remember that?
Well, he's just a raging alcoholic.
Well, that's why they had to like force him out of the show and replace him.
Yeah, yeah. So Arrested Development was a decent sized show in the 2000s.
Well, was it really? I thought because it ended up getting canceled, so I thought it was.
Well, it got
It's,
rebooted by Netflix.
yeah,
Right?
it's got
Yeah, by
5
Netflix, yeah,
seasons now.
Yeah, 5 seasons now. Yeah, but it's
It was actually named by IGN as the funniest show of all time, but obviously we don't give a fuck what people at IGN think.
IG.
yeah, IGN. They can't even do games right, so why the fuck would they do sitcoms?
So, I think it was influential, is why they say that, because it later influenced like bigger single camera comedies like 30 Rock and Community, just the style in which it was made.
Yeah,
So How I
it
Met
was
Your
I
Mother.
mean, it was a funny show. So
Yeah, I love. What was the name of the lawyer?
oh, blah blah blah.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Such a great name, blah blah blah.
Blah blah
Blah
blah.
blah blah.
It was played by Scott Baio, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, How I Met Your Mother, which I absolutely hate.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Can't stand that fucking show.
Oh yeah, these newer sitcoms, and I don't know. I never really.
My wife loves
I guess I like
That's
that.
just-
I like that old Doogie Howser had a comeback, but I never got into the show.
it.
My question was-
He's
my
good
was-
in the show.
Yeah, he is. Barney is. He plays Barney. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty
But
funny.
his
I
thing
like
is-
him.
The thing is, it was a comedian. I think he was like somebody's like the show's about How I Met Your Mother, and the guy's talking to his kids, but he's already an adult. So why does he grow into Bob Saget? You know, the couch. He's talking to his kids.
Wait, is Bob
Um,
Saget at the end or something?
Bob Saget's the narrator. He's the voice of the guy who's narrating.
Oh, there's a narrator through the shows.
Yeah,
That's
not through the show, but sort of like at the yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Mystic. My bad.
Okay, so Big Bang Theory is obviously
That's
the
another one I
biggest
fucking
sitcom
hate.
now. I don't mind it. I think it's way funnier than How I Met Your Mother or any of those other ones.
Yeah.
I do like Sheldon's character, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because like it seems like every episode is like, well, here's us all eating together on the couch, and we're gonna talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
They're always like eating takeout on the couch because it's that sitcom format where it's like half of the room, and it's just like, ugh, that's stupid.
All right. So 30 Rock, which is probably one of my favorite sitcoms ever.
I've actually never seen that. I need to check that out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. 30
Now
Rock's
that's-
funny as
Now,
fuck.
30 Rock
I
is
noticed
a
you didn't mention
fictional.
third.
Tina
It's
Fey.
supposed to like
I get it,
behind
yeah.
the scenes.
I know what it
of,
is. You don't
like,
have to tell me what it is.
Is
I
it
get
a
it. I
behind
get
the
it.
scenes of a SNL type show or?
Yes.
Okay.
So
it's
did you
basically
mention?
it's an autobiographical comedy basically about Tina Fey as the head writer of SNL.
Okay.
But she's the head writer and creator of this show called The Girly Show on NBC. And-
What about Did you mention
Now,
30 Rock?
30
and
Rock,
the Sun?
is that the address of the place?
No.
What's 30 Rock mean?
yeah, 30 Rockefeller Center, NBC's headquarters.
Yeah.
It's not just about that show. It centers on 30 Rock basically. Like Alec Baldwin plays the boss that comes in and starts fucking with shit. Anyway. So The Office was another huge one in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Modern ones, 2010 and on. Modern Family, never seen it.
I still have not watched any of that.
It actually has won 22 Emmys,
Ooh,
75
catching up.
nominations.
Damn.
Yeah.
And how many
Parks and
seasons has
Rec,
that been now?
It came on 2009, so this is its 10th. I
10.
guess. Parks and Rec, which aired from 2009 to 2015. Which it was funny. So I kind of think it was overdid that whole The Office style filmmaking stuff. New Girl, never seen it. Zoe Deschanel. Brooklyn Nine-Nine which is actually pretty funny.
It's back on I think Fox now.
No, Fox.
Yeah, someone
got rid
else
of it.
picked it
It's
up,
on
too.
NBC.
Oh, NBC. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that show's pretty funny.
So yeah, that's about it. The newest sitcoms. I don't know. What do you guys? Hold on. Find this goddamn thing. So that's the overall sitcom. I
so
got this
some
list here
sitcom.
from IMDb, which is these are the top 20 rated sitcoms on their website. So like the way that people rate them. You know what I mean? Like. Obviously, Seinfeld is number 1 with 8.9. It's tied with Friends at 8.9, and Arrested Development at 8.9. Next is Curb Your Enthusiasm with 8.7, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with 8.7. And then Community, The Office
I haven't
is at
watched
8.8.
Community.
That 70s Show was one we didn't mention.
Oh, yeah.
That was another
like
big one
that
in
one.
the 2000s. Faulty Towers is on this list. It's rated at 8.8. Ran from 75 to 79. British, obviously. Parks and Rec, rated 8.6. The IT Crowd, or the It Crowd. I've seen a few of those. They're kind of dumb, in my opinion. But they are British, so it's different. The Peep Show, which
I've seen
is
that one.
also British, I assume. Is it British?
It might be New Zealand,
Never-
actually.
Oh, okay. South Park, which we haven't. I'm not going to mention these cartoon ones because we need to discuss that next. How I Met Your Mother, Mind Your Language, which I've never even heard of, from 77 to 86.
The Peep Show. I never even heard that one.
Silicon Valley, which is funny as fuck.
So that's a newer one, right? That's a sitcom?
Yeah, it's on HBO. Yeah.
So it's like a sitcom, a period sitcom, I guess you'd say?
Silicon
Right,
Valley.
'cause
No,
it's
it
like-
takes place now.
Oh, I thought Silicon Valley was like in the early days of Silicon Valley.
No.
Or is that a different
Those
show?
about these guys
They've
trying to
got
start
like a
tech company.
documentary. I've been watching that. Valley of the Boom. About early Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Well, Halt and Catch Fire is about early days of Silicon Valley too.
So what's the sitcom Silicon Valley about?
These guys are trying to start a tech startup.
Yeah, they start
okay.
this tech startup and it gets all fucked up. So now we're moving on to the last part here, animated. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
debate over whether they can be lumped in with the sitcoms, because if you really think about it, The Simpsons holds the record for the longest
Running
Yeah.
show.
continuous running show,
Yeah.
in sitcom or not in history.
Yeah, how many
but that's
seasons they at
because
now?
It's like 23, I think.
1989
20
to now.
30?
So 20. 30, yeah.
89 to now?
Debuted
Yeah.
on December 17th, 1989.
Yeah, it'd be 30, yeah. Well,
Yeah. 20.
So, but obviously it was, it spawned other ones. King of the Hill was a huge fucking animated sitcom. South Park, Family Guy, Futurama, Beavis and Butthead, Rick and Morty, Archer, Bob's Burgers. You can name any one of them. But American Dad. The thing is that they aren't held to the same constraints that other sitcoms are, because obviously characters age, or
Yeah.
die or leave.
True,
or,
true. Yeah, with animation, it's really just so long as you can maintain the voice talent.
Right, exactly. And even then, sometimes that doesn't even matter,
Well, that used to be always the you'd always hear every once in a while stories about how the Simpsons voice actors wanted a raise, and there was this battle between Fox and them, and then they'd settle it or whatever. But
You know
like
how
how
much
real
they
that
make
was.
an episode?
Millions, don't they?
No, not per episode. No. The main
Or
big
is it
ones,
per
the
season
ones that
then,
do the ones that do the main voices, like Bart and Lisa and
Yeah.
all that shit, make about 400,000 an episode.
Holy shit, that's enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and how many episodes a season?
Exactly, 20 something, 22.
Wow.
That's what I mean.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
you could pay me. You could pay me 20,000 an episode. I'd be happy.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
say
yeah.
I'm
those
like,
seasons are
fuck that. I mean, really.
Pay me $100.
Frank, who is that? Hank Azaria?
Hank
Hank
Azaria.
Azaria, he does like 6
a lot of-
voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably gets a check for each voice. I'm sure he does.
Well, I'm sure it's all lumped in his contract.
Right.
So another, other big ones. The Flintstones was actually considered the first, debuted in 1960, is considered the first animated sitcom. The Jetsons was after that, 62. So yeah. What do you guys think about animated? What think they should be the same
I think
categories?
they should, because the work that goes into animation, it's a lot. I mean, yes, getting actors on stage and everything else, but this you got to get the voice acting, you got to get the animation, you got to get the syncing and everything else. It takes a lot of.
They
lot of hard
leave
work.
they leave that up to China to do the syncing and stuff and all the animation anymore
Yeah,
I
nowadays.
think it's more
Little
Korean. I
Korean
think.
kids.
Yeah, a little Korean. Yeah. But I
Um,
mean, I think I mean,
That's
if
true,
it
Korean.
holds the audiences
right,
and it does the
Craig.
same thing. I
Don't
mean,
offend the
even though the
Chinese.
actors don't age, the fucking you don't see the physical aging of the actors. They still do age, and you can tell when they change voices. I mean, no matter how close it is to it, you can tell when they change voices in the animations.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, it's kind of, I mean, you have people that leave and they have to replace that voice with somebody. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I think they should be able to be held to the same standards.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I think it should be
they're
its
funny.
own.
Yeah, I think they should be their own
It
thing.
should be
Rick
its
Morty
own
is my shit,
animated
bruh.
comedies. Like,
There's so many of
I
them
don't
now
think
that
you
they
can-
can be.
Yeah.
I think back
Yeah.
in the days when The Simpsons was the only one,
Mm-hmm.
People were like, "Whoa, what do we do with this?" Like,
Right.
Is it in the same category? I mean,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it can be its own thing, and I don't watch a whole lot of sitcoms, but the shit that makes me laugh a lot of times is like Adult Swim stuff, like Hot Streets. It's fucking hilarious.
God, I haven't
Show's
even
goddamn-
like.
show's fucking
I
stupid.
have no idea what's the new Adult
Show's fucking
Swim.
stupid.
I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to love the Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, that's
and
a good one.
C Lab 2020. The old,
Squid
10
Billies.
years ago.
Squid Billies.
Mhm.
See,
Do
now
not
that's one
touch
like
the
I
trim.
still haven't gotten into, but I've been told it's awesome. I should check it out. I have no idea what the current Adult Swim lineup is. Do you guys?
Watch one night, find out.
no, I haven't seen it. In
I mean,
fucking-
it changes from time to time.
Yeah,
they
it changes all the
They
time.
try to put.
Or,
they try to
okay,
put,
well, tell me,
they put
Teddy,
Samurai
what's
Jack
on it
out.
lately?
Yeah,
Late,
Teddy.
As of late.
I actually haven't watched Adult Swim in a while.
Exactly. My point being.
Yeah. Yeah. How is that your point being? How
Was
is
that-
me not
I
watching
haven't-
something?
Well, if you had listened
What
to
does
him,
that mean,
Teddy,
not watching
that's what he
something
said.
you?
Thank you,
Said, I
Mystic.
haven't seen it in recent times. Has anybody? And you're like, yeah, blah, 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 blah,
Come
blah, blah, blah,
on,
blah.
tell me what the fucking
You're not
shows are.
actually listening.
TV guide.
He has these arguments with me that are coming out of his own little reality
Yeah.
because he isn't listening.
You know, it matters.
You're like a goddamn Republican bubble over there.
I am.
Just your own little reality. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's go around. Favorite sitcom or like top 5 or anything like that. Start off, Ashtray.
Seinfeld.
Okay. Any other ones?
Um,
Any ones that changed the way that you watch television when you were a kid? You know what I mean? Like,
well, the thing too is like Seinfeld's one I got kind of a later. It was actually in the DVDs where I could
Yeah.
really like watch the whole thing through, and I was like, this is why it was so fucking good. and I would say the only one which is not I would count in the same category, but Futurama. I used to put those DVDs on like sleep timer to fall asleep for probably like 5 years straight in my early 20s. So I have a fondness for that, falling asleep, learning all the dialogue.
Word. All right, Oracle.
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
That would probably be my favorite sitcom. I don't really watch a whole lot of sitcoms, but yeah, the ones that will kind of make me laugh from time to time, I'll go on Adult Swim and I'll just kind of pick a show. And the shit is just so fucking ridiculous now. That's what's so funny
Speaking
about
of ridiculous, Travis just posted Robot Chicken. Was that a Adult Swim
Yeah,
or was that a different?
I think that was like
That
one
was
of
I
the
think it's
first ones.
I think it still comes on. Yeah.
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 Seth
that is
Green,
funny
that's a
shit.
guy who must have a lot of money, right?
He's got to like
Yeah.
he's done so much stuff
Yeah, he's
behind
got
the
that
scenes.
Family Guy money too.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does voice acting. He doesn't have to be on the screen anymore, like
Right.
because he probably still looks the same. He's one of those like he still looks
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
21, like a punk
He
out
looks
of
like
high
he
school.
could get beat up by a fucking midget. Is what he looks like.
It's because he is a midget.
Yeah.
Midget full of money.
All
The
right,
best kind to
Teddy.
beat up. I like more. I mean, I would say, what's the Arrested Development. But I like more crass humor, so I like a lot of Archer, some and Rick and Morty. I think those are my top favorites. Oh, and Boondocks. I like Boondocks too. Boondocks.
Oh yeah, forgot
The
all
Boondocks,
about
yeah.
Boondocks.
Rick and Morty has got to be one of my favorites.
Yeah,
The
Rick-
think
Boondocks.
my-
Actually, I would like to go back to the Boondocks. Fucking R. Kelly episode now with the new R. Kelly because that's like 10 years old, is it not?
Yeah, it was. It came. Yeah, it was when he was back on first trial. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
An interesting bit of tidbit. They have one of my favorite episodes. You can't find it anymore, even if you have the DVD box set, because somehow he had it removed. It's there's an episode about Tyler Perry, and it's the what's that monster? Is it the what's the Monster Mash movie everybody watches with the fucking shit? It's got Tim Curry using cross dressing.
Oh,
Rocky Horror
Rocky Horror Picture. Yeah, it's kind of like that. He does a whole number just like the thing. And the song is "It's All Right to Cross Dress for Christ," and it's fucking.
really?
Yeah,
But it's about Tyler
and
Perry.
the whole thing is him being gay, and he dresses up. He's a Christian, but he dresses like this chick in all his fucking movies. And I'm sorry for a 6-foot man, he is way too comfortable in them fucking heels. I don't give a fuck what you say. So I mean, in the song is "It's All Right to Cross Dress for Christ," and you cannot find that episode anywhere. And it's one of my favorite fucking episodes. And his whole thing is like he's got
It's a
all his
Boondocks
all his-
episode that has been
It's
blocked.
a Boondocks episode, yeah. They also had 2 other episodes that you could only get on the fucking disc set, and it's about BET because Aaron McGruder, the guy who created it, like he hated BET and he called it Black Evil Television,
Oh,
and so he had
I
2 episodes
think I
about that.
remember
You can only watch them if you have DVD box set. You can't find them anywhere else. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my. I love that cartoon.
That's funny. You know, there was a blocked Seinfeld episode, or like they don't do it in syndication. It was. Have you ever seen the one where they get stuck in the Puerto Rican Day parade?
No.
Yeah.
I'm black, I
The
don't watch
Puerto
Seinfeld.
Ricans got pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans got so mad that
I
like
remember that.
they basically banned it. So like from syndication, and there's like some. I think there's a scene where Kramer like starts stomping on the Puerto Rican flag, but
Yeah,
it's like
that's why
it's
they
a Kramer
did. Yeah.
accident. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, and they're like, how dare you? Like in the episode,
That's one
mocking
of those
Kramer for.
cultural things.
Yeah, and so like it made such an uproar that you can only see it if you have the DVD box set.
Stepping on the country's flag on TV. Like who? I mean, yeah.
Well, it's part of the like.
we don't like
come
when Middle
on.
Easterners do it.
It's
Why would we put this shit on
Kramer.
fucking
He,
camera?
like Kramer always fucks up
Seinfeld
that
made
kind of way.
more fun of Jews than any other show, and they were written by Jews, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
Again,
that
I'm
shit
black.
was-
I watch Seinfeld.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Black people watch Seinfeld. You know what? Actually, no. A lot of black people don't, because we had this argument at work. We had like a board. Remember when I was telling you guys about those fucking March Madness boards that we have during March Madness at work?
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
And,
like the horror. That's actually
Yeah.
a cool
Well,
idea.
we had the sitcom one, and that's kind of how I got this idea.
Excuse
But
me.
the only black dude that works there was because Seinfeld won it, and he's like, "Oh hell no, Seinfeld ain't winning this shit." And he's like, "Where the fuck's Martin? Where the fuck is
Martin.
Up in this
Mart.
Like, dude, shut up. It was fucking funny. Anyway, so I would say Seinfeld is up there for me. It's probably not my favorite because I didn't get into it when I was a little too young still to get into Seinfeld when it first started. You know what I'm saying? So I watched it on reruns or like
the DVDs.
DVDs. Roseanne was a big one with me, but that's because it kind of echoed my white trash family.
My reality. Me too.
Yeah, like honestly, that's just kind of how it was in my household. That was obviously when I was a kid. I think my favorite one of all time is probably the Trailer Park Boys. I think that show from front to back is one of the best produced and written sitcoms in history. That's just my opinion, I guess. I've watched it like 4 times through already. 30 Rock is up there for me. I love that fucking show. It's Always Sunny is up there too. Basically anything with like a different type of humor, you know.
Yeah, it's Always Sunny's up there for me too.
But Family Guy is up there. I love.
Want to give the baby a tan just to get a base?
Yeah, just to get a base. Like one of the best episodes ever, actually, in a sitcom is when fucking Mac is trying to get with that tranny before she fucking gets her dick chopped off.
Yeah.
Like he's like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "I'm trying to put my time in now, so I can be first in line when she gets the surgery." And he's like, "What?" Holy shit! Like when she stands up and her fucking package is right next to his face and shit. Oh my god, it's so great. Anyway, yeah, that's our conversation about sitcoms. Tell us what you like on our website or Facebook, or otherwise you can go fuck yourself. What's sexy is next? Teddy, Borderlands Trey.
They're finally coming out with Borderlands 3. It's actually gonna be the 4th Borderlands game. They had part 1, part 2, and the third one was Borderlands 1.5. The story of Handsome Jack. The story's always been great with these things. It was kind of one of the first looter shooters that I played. Because
Looter
it was
shooters, is that what they call them?
Well, yeah, that's what they call them.
Because you pick up all kinds of shit.
Everything you kill drops loot. You're always looking for a better gun, a better piece of gear. Well, this one doesn't really have gear, but I was looking for a better gun that does more damage and everything else for you. It's done by 2K. The first 2 games were awesome. They were funny as shit. I didn't play the third one. Actually, I own the third one. I thought
the third one is new, just coming out.
The third one is.
Oh, the prequel one.
It's the 4th installment. Yeah, the prequel. They had a prequel one. Okay. Yeah, it was the third game they made, but this is actually part 3. They're bringing back some of the old people. You pick a guy, you level him up, you go through with friends. The story's always funny. Claptrap's gonna be back in it. It's pretty fucking awesome. It was one of the first games I played that made me laugh out loud. I think actually that and Portal were one of the first games I played and made me laugh out loud. So I mean, if you're a fan of 2K games, it's kind of a weird cell shady kind of shit. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Check it out. If you like the first 2, you should check it out. I mean, it's the replay.
Is it out already or coming out?
It's not out. It comes out in September, I think. So yeah, check it out.
Another game I won't buy.
Yeah.
Oracle, God of
Keep playing
War.
poker with your fat friend.
Speaking of games I'm not gonna buy, God of War.
You can't play God of War because you don't have a PlayStation.
Oh, my bad.
Plebe.
Let me get on that.
This is God of War 4 you're talking about?
Yeah, so I've had this game since when it came out. And
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know, I was just busy.
This is the PS4 one, right?
Yeah, I just bounced off of it.
Yeah, no, you were just too in the VR world. That's what it was.
Well, I didn't have VR back then, Teddy.
Well, you do now. If you had this as a game, the game came out 3 years ago.
It didn't come out 3 years ago. It came out last year.
God of War 4 came out last year?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so...
Oh, Mr. Video Games doesn't know, huh?
I finally...
Hey, look, I have the game also. I haven't played it in a while.
I finally decided to give this a chance. And I guess when I first started playing it, it was just kind of like, do I just want to play this action game? Not really. I'm not really in the mood for that. But this thing, the production value of this and the story that it tells is amazing.
Now, is this one something with the sun involved?
Yeah, the sun. And it
always
has
the goddamn sun.
all this Norse mythology. It's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Dude, I think the first fight with Boulder, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And I thought,
Yeah.
like, oh, well, this is just like a high point. That's just the beginning. Like, it
Yeah,
just
beginning of the
keeps
game,
on
yeah.
coming. And it's
Yeah.
fucking great. Really good. I'm glad that I gave it a chance, and I'm actually sitting down with it. It's not just like, just action constantly. Like, they actually have lulls in the fight. You got good interactions with all the characters and stuff like that. It's really good.
I can't get myself invested in those long-term games anymore, I feel. Is it just because I'm getting older?
That's
Yeah.
because you pass out from drunkenness.
Or no, let's not pass out with drunkenness.
It's because you hang out with married Asian chicks and eat gummies all night instead of playing video games like Teddy.
True.
Hey, look, I'm a single father, and my son's sleeping every room over there. I have nothing else to do at night. What do you want me to do? I can sit and watch sitcoms like you, or I
Masturbate.
can be social.
See, the thing is, I don't even have kids. Like, I should be the one who's playing video games all the time. But...
Right? No, instead you're productive.
Right. Shame
Chopping
on
your
me.
thumb. How's your thumb, by the way?
Actually,
Please don't show it.
surprisingly
Please don't show
better
it.
than.
Please
I
don't
mean,
show
still,
it. Please
yeah.
don't show it.
No, it's
Jesus Christ.
up. But yeah, it's still fucked up. Like, it's okay if I don't bang it on anything, but I've still, like, it's hard to put my
Stop
shoes on.
banging on shit.
You know Travis is screaming at the computer right now, right?
He's like, I got bit by a fucking tiger.
I got bit by a tiger, you
bitch.
fuck!
You fucking, oh, my little thumb. I cracked my nail.
Right?
Yeah.
What is up with you drosselers making dumbass
All right.
decisions?
Oh, yeah.
Dressler.
Those,
Whatever.
yeah. What wrestlers do.
Drossler. I called him that too the first time I saw his last name.
Don't worry. So do the
Dressler.
infomercial people.
Fag. Ashtray, Trump wants to investigate the origins. I mean, oranges.
The
Well,
oranges.
Mystic, we can do. Oh, sorry.
I put a link for the YouTube video
Yep.
of just the clip itself, but like it is. This is what's great is like when you watch it, you can see in his eyes, it's subtle, but like in his Trump way, like the gears in his brain are like, this ain't actually. I know this isn't quite the right word, but it's the word I'm using because it was like he was trying to learn the new word, origins, and so instead he says oranges. We got to look into the oranges of the Mueller report instead of the origins of the Mueller report. And he says it like 5 times. If you watch the any late night show, except for maybe Jimmy Fallon, pretty much everyone laughed at this one. So if you didn't know about it, fucking get in the know, bitches. It's just another one of the log that's put in the Trump fire. They're gonna have a Trump calendar that's one of those 365-day-a-year ones.
You just
Where
open
you can,
like a little door.
Well, no. You remember the ones that was like where you pulled you rip a piece of paper off every day,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be a joke or something. Like I used to have the Far Side ones,
The Far
calendars.
Side,
Mm.
Yeah, it's a far
You could easily make a Trump one for every
Oh,
day,
yeah. Uh-huh.
and it's only 2 years into his
Trumpisms?
term.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trumpism.
Kind of like
Remember how
Ricky-isms?
there'd be George
Fucking
W.
the
isms?
Totoso.
There'd be George W. isms, like calendars, but his flubs, that's nothing now. Just
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
fun.
Dude.
So anyway, that's my sexy.
So does he know that he's tinted origin?
When I first heard it says Trump once looked into oranges, I'm like, is that a joke on his complexion? Because everybody jokes about his orange complexion. But yeah, no, it's like he's just like he can't say origins.
No.
Dude, I'm sorry. The Family Guy chicken fight with Trump is fucking hilarious.
Oh,
Did you guys see that
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Mm.
There's an episode where he becomes Peter becomes the new White House press secretary.
Is this after Trump has been elected?
Yeah, exactly. This
Yeah,
is
it
like
was like a
it's
few
in
months
this
ago.
it's in this season. Yeah, it's like a few months ago. Yeah, but yeah, he's got like a white face, but it's orange makeup with fucking like you can see the outline of the
Yeah,
white.
you can see the outline.
And they end up having a chicken fight. It's so goddamn funny.
Dude, remember
Oh.
the part at the end when he headbutts Peter? And like Peter's face is all
Faces-
orange
oh, orange, yeah.
because the shit comes off. And then fucking Melania throws Peter that golf club. She's like, "If you kill him in front of me, Peter, I will sex you." Oh, it's
shit.
fucking great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like
Yeah.
leaning out of Marine One, like throws
Yeah,
him a golf club.
if you have Hulu, check it out. It's a
Yeah,
funny
it's-
fucking episode.
It's probably on YouTube,
Surprised
honestly.
he hasn't been bitching about that.
Right? Yeah, he's bitching about Alec Baldwin fucking.
Yeah, he bitches about SNL only because like
Well, he
SNL
actually watches
makes the
SNL. That's
headline.
why.
well, I
Hey,
watch.
Family Guy's on Fox though. You can't rip on Fox. Right?
True.
All right. So Tool updates. We're gonna talk about that. I almost had this as a fuck what you think, because I mean it's been 13 motherfucking years since they've come out with an album. Fucking cocksuckers. But today they updated their website and their Facebook page with the Roman numeral 2019. So their album is coming. We don't know when.
Is it MCX something?
MMXIX, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they're just trolly assholes, which I kind of find funny, but it pisses me off because I'm a Tool fan. But on April Fools, they released what they labeled as new Tool material, and it was 37 minutes of crickets.
There people downloaded it and listened.
Oh yeah, people, yeah, and I bet you there were
Entire
people that
thing, just
listened
waiting
to
for
it
something.
the whole
thing.
time.
The whole time
37
wait-
minutes.
Oh,
of
yeah.
crickets.
For this shit to come out.
Because
Like,
you know
yeah,
what?
right.
They weren't smart enough to open it in an audio editor program to
Right,
watch
and
the
see if there's
waveform.
anything. Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
They just
So,
listen to the
anyway.
fucking thing.
So anyway, it's coming.
That's great.
So yeah, fuck what you think. This is where we tell you to go fuck yourself, Teddy. Morons and parking garages.
All right, so my job, we have a parking garage, and it tells you, it tells you when you come in that it's two lanes. All right, it tells you if you go, this one comes up, and you got to go forward to go down, so you don't have people trying to turn down the same one and shit.
Right.
And it never fails that somebody comes speeding this parking garage, and if you're going to go down a park, you got to go down past the first lane and go down the second lane, and that keeps it laid open for people to turn out. And
Is this
it
parking
never fails
garage your community parking garage or?
It's at where my job is.
Oh, your job.
And it never fails that every goddamn day there's some fucking moron comes speeding to the parking garage and then tries to turn down the first part. And the fucked up part about it is if you're coming to the parking garage, you only think it has one lane because you're not paying attention. If you're coming out like this and the other person's turning, they turn just like this to where they don't give you any time to turn any way to turn out. So then I'm like, why are you turning this sharply? I'm like, what the fuck? These people that don't pay a fucking attention.
Turn
Goddamn
too
Tennesseans.
sharply.
I'm like, yeah, it's fucking, well, okay, whatever, fuck you. Like, I almost get hit every goddamn day because these people cannot operate. I mean, is it so hard to do 15 miles an hour in a parking garage? I mean, when the cars are together, and a lot of them are SUVs, you can't see people coming out between cars, and if you're going too fast,
You
can hit
unleash the horn?
Say what?
Unleash
Unleash
the
the
horn.
horn.
Unleash the horn.
Well, in a parking garage too, it gets real loud. I just like don't even beep it. Just you hold it down
I
for
lay
a
on
good
it.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Just lay on it, and like to where they really have to absorb it.
I just get tired of people turning into my lane and then stopping before I hit them and shit, and then looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm driving on my side of the fucking road. You fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like your car is blocking my lane. All right, just fucking idiots. Goddamn Tennesseans. I hate them all. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's all. That's my
Wow,
bitch
all
for
right.
tonight. Go ahead. Yeah, I said it.
Oracle. Exxon Valdez, is that supposed to say?
Exxon Valdez.
Valdez.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that a play on the Valdez?
So, yesterday I'm like, well, it's starting to get a little warm out. I guess maybe I need to do a little preventative maintenance on my car.
Oh yeah, right.
Yep. So I hadn't changed my oil since the fall. Car's got like 180,000 miles. Saturn
I
View.
Well, how many,
Well,
Saturn
how many
Well, wait,
View.
miles?
so wait.
How many miles?
how many
since the last
miles have
oil
you been?
change?
Has it been since you got the last oil change?
I probably put
Don't
like
remember?
not even 3,000 on. Just
Oh,
kind of
okay.
do it.
Probably. You don't check to make sure.
No, man, because
So
it
you-
burns
you
oil
should-
like a motherfucker. So I gotta,
Well, if it burns like a motherfucker.
Yeah, okay,
I
okay.
gotta
do it
add
already.
oil.
Okay, I'm just curious. I'm
All
like,
right.
why have you not checked to make sure the math is right? bro?
No, I'm on top of the situation. All right. I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking change the oil out. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna fucking be on top of this. So
Just Groupon that shit, bro.
I take it home. I go to the car parts store, get my oil, get
Take
the
it home back
filter.
to Wisconsin.
No, take it to my
No, to
fucking
his
house
house.
in Rhode Island.
What the fuck,
Yeah.
bro?
Wow.
Well, when you say
Christ.
take it home, like where are you taking it home from?
To the
From
place
work
he lives.
to my home.
He just said
Okay.
he went to get the stuff to change his oil.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
he's gonna take it home and change the oil.
Okay.
See, when I think of taking it home, like taking it to
Let's just
back to the
okay.
farm where you can work
Or
on.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So wait, so when you get your oil done, do you take it back to your parents' house? Is that what you're trying to say?
I used to do that. Sorry.
All right. Well, anyway, I fucking took it to my place where I could change my oil. I have ramps that I use to drive up onto so I don't have to jack it up. It's a lot fucking easier that way. And the place that
ramps freak
I'm
me out.
at, actually, where I do it, it's actually a pretty decent incline. So with the ramps, when I pull it up on the ramps, it's pretty much level when I have it on there. Well, anyway, change the oil. Not a big deal. Okay, everything's looking all right here. Blah, blah, blah. Fucking, put the filter in there. Start, take everything out, get in the car. Is like, all right, I'm going to back off these ramps here and I'm going to clean everything up. Well, that's when fucking things started to go wrong. Ooh. So I start backing off of these ramps, and because it was on asphalt and it's on an incline, the weight of the vehicle kind of launched one of the ramps. So it so it fell off the fucking ramp.
Oh no.
And then
so now is incline, are you
your
facing
car like
down?
slanted like
so
this?
the car is facing down actually.
Okay.
So I drove up
Okay.
onto the ramps. So I'm backing up, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and I'm just like, oh fuck, it wasn't that big of a deal though. It's not like it bottomed out and hit like the frame on the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what the fuck happened? So then I open my door and proceed to see about 4 quarts of oil being blasted out of my fucking car
Oh no!
onto the asphalt. I'm
Like
just
underneath your door, like gushing out.
gushing out from the so going straight down this fucking massive incline into the street. I'm just like, oh no, this is fucking bad. My car's freaking out.
Tell the government.
Right? I'm just like, I stop the car, I turn it off, I go run inside, tell Carolyn, I'm like, I just did something bad. She looks at me like, what the
Like
fuck?
what?
So we
It's
go
like,
out
this is
there.
why we pay people to do this.
So I grab a bucket of fucking cat litter. We're trying to like stop the fucking flow of oil until it goes completely into the street. I run off to Home Depot to get some sort of like you get that stuff to clean up spills, they make that special stuff. Mm-hmm. And like a deck brush, which worked really well, by the way. But fucking A, what a fiasco. And then I was really bummed out because I was like, fuck, my car
How
is
did
fucked
the
up.
gush? Like what happened?
So
Yeah, did it knock off your pan? Did it knock off your fucking?
So
what did it happen?
Put a hole in the
I went and I checked it out today, and I'm like, I'm looking around, and I cleaned it
Wait,
up.
did you drive your car before?
No,
you
I
checked it
didn't
out?
drive. I didn't drive the car. No, I didn't drive it today.
You just kind of clean it up and you'd be like, I'll deal with this tomorrow.
I'll deal with it tomorrow because it was starting to get dark. It was gonna rain. Plus, it took a while to clean up all that fucking oil. And so I get some parts and shit, and I clean it up, and I'm just looking around, and I can't really see anything today. And I'm just like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tarp underneath, and I'm going to put some oil in it, not like all 5 quarts, and I'm going to just see if I can see where this is coming out. Just, turn it on real quickly. I put it in, turn it on, and it's not leaking. I don't understand.
Don't drive that car, bro. Don't drive that car. Bro.
Yeah, have you driven it anywhere yet?
I haven't driven it anywhere, but it wasn't leaking any oil. So
Did
Did
knock
you
over
fill
the
it
oil?
back up? How many quarts you put back in
I
it?
put 3 quarts in.
Did you knock over the oil pan that you had drained the oil into? Is that what happened?
No.
Yeah, your old oil
The
spill.
old oil.
No,
I
the
mean,
old,
because
the old
if it was
oil.
black, it was black. It would have been
No,
the
it
old
wasn't
oil. It was like,
black.
what the-
No, it was
Okay.
it was the new
It was
oil.
new oil.
So it's like this mystery oil. I don't
Wait.
know.
Is it? There is any possibility
Dude,
that
put
you
another-
left your or somehow the oil cap came loose when you jumped off the?
That
No,
wouldn't
I've
make off.
had,
it was still on.
You know, I mean, he had to come from the
I in
bottom.
my fucking shop did not put the oil cap on mine after they changed my oil, and I drove halfway around town, and all of a sudden, as I'm getting off the exit ramp, my trunk is smoking, or my hood smoking,
Yeah.
because
You
it was
need to-
gushing oil out of it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You need to take that somewhere and have them pressure test it, because
Yeah, you could have broken
that
the-
shit
it
came
could-
out somewhere.
Yeah,
Well,
it could
yeah,
have
right?
an oil pan or something that you
Yeah.
fucked up. But it could be. I mean, yeah, I would not drive that shit and watch have your fucking have your
Well-
engine seize up on you or something. I mean, shit.
I guess. Well, from underneath, did you put it back up on, the ramps to look from underneath?
No, I didn't do that yet.
Because, yeah, I would. You'd almost have to if you don't see anything coming out, but like there should be signs from where it was coming out from underneath.
It was
Yeah.
like an explosion. It was
Granted,
fucking
it might
everywhere.
not be too safe on an incline with oil on your tires to try to put back on those
Yeah,
ramps again.
it
but-
was everywhere. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck happened. One thing that I did notice though is there was a crack in the oil filter, because it's got like an oil filter that comes in from the top, like a cartridge type thing. There was a crack in the lid of the thing for that oil filter.
the new one.
Well, I changed it out. So, but could that much oil have come out of that crack? I kind of doubt
I mean, the
that.
oil filters.
Well-
all the oil filters through there. So I mean, it could have.
Under pressure, it could. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, the
I
thing
mean, this is
I
like a
guess,
small
how
crack.
long? So since you put 3 quarts in it,
Yep.
how long
Was it
did you let
spewing
it
out, or was
run?
it-
I let it run for a couple minutes, and I checked the levels, and the levels were good, and it was running fine. I didn't drive it anywhere, but the engine
Right.
was running just fine, and it
Yeah, I
wasn't
guess
dripping oil.
There's no easy level place to move it to try to look at it.
I'm gonna
That's
kind
the thing
of
too, is like you're on an incline.
You're on an
too.
incline, yeah. You're
Like
checking the
that's gonna
levels, so-
screw up your level with your dipstick even.
yeah.
Well,
I didn't want to fuck
it-
around with it too
it
much.
could. There is a possibility that when you fell off of that ramp,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe it put enough pressure on the mount of the engine to
Mhm.
move something, like your pan. That maybe the seal of your pan is weak, and it
It is
moved it
weak,
enough
so, yeah.
that fucking it just all gushed out the side. And then now that it's level again, it's back sealed. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I had
yeah.
a tire that did that one time when I fucking would sit on this certain part of the road, the tire would lose air because the way that the car was sitting.
Yeah.
So I'd come out and I'd be like, why is my fucking tire low? And then they'd take it there and there's no leak. It's because the car was sitting so weird that the fucking bead of the tire was coming undone and releasing air.
So
So I don't
I
know if-
shouldn't go down any bumpy roads.
Well, how
Anytime.
far to get to your mechanic?
I'm not
guess
taking
it
it to a
probably-
fucking mechanic.
Oh, man. So
Good luck.
tomorrow we're going to get a text from you on
Good
the
luck.
highway going, yeah, there's oil all over the fucking
Yeah.
interstate.
No, once I got far enough along in my career where I'm making enough money to like
Fuck
find
that,
a trustworthy
man.
mechanic. Man, that's
Man, a
just-
mechanic will fucking rape you
Dude, that's-
The thing is,
10
you gotta
times
find- man.
sideways.
you gotta find a good one. There are
Good
good
luck.
ones out there still.
Good
I don't know
luck.
about Rhode Island, but
Good fucking luck. The last mechanic that I went to, the guy tried to totally rip me off
you
on
can find some
exhaust
good ones who will like
parts.
let you know things that like, hey, like next visit,
Yeah, dude.
we'll look at this again. But like
Kinda
this is
good
something you
oracle.
gotta deal with.
There was a mechanic who once tried to put a rear differential on my wife's Dodge Neon. It was a front wheel drive car.
Really?
Yeah, we had to go. Me and my father had to go up there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Wow.
Right?
No, I agree. There are plenty of shitty mechanics, but like I've had one for at least the last 5 years, and now it's just easier where like they know me, and it's like, yep, take it right in. Wham,
Yeah, they
bam.
know you. They know you're like, yeah, he'll pay. What was it? King
He'll
of the
pay.
Hill. He's paying sticker price for cars. Thinking he's getting a deal. They know Astro will pay anything to fix his car. So yeah, bring him in.
Yeah, right. We'll get him right in.
I just take my shit to Valvoline and let them change it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll
yeah, like
maybe I'll do that. I'll take it to
Because
them
if
and then
they
I'll
spill
blame
it,
it
then they
on them.
cleaned it up. You know what
Well,
I
the
mean?
thing is, you take
Yeah,
it
if you
to
can limp it to
Groupon.
an oil change place
Be like,
and then try to pin it on
what'd you
them.
do?
Well, yeah, just download Groupon and get like you can get like full synthetic oil change on there for like $35. And fucking take it up there and get it.
You know what though? Like all I can think about is that if I were that guy working at the oil change place and this motherfucker comes up with a Groupon, fix my shit, and it's just like already covered in greasy, grimy oil on the bottom, I'd be like, fuck this motherfucker. Like,
Hey man, sucks working on a Thursday. I don't know what to tell
This
you.
is why I'm talking about you find good help.
You should have called out today, bro.
Group
All
on
right.
that. Shit.
Okay, so anyway, we're on to me talking about language. I don't know how to explain this one. So we have on Friday, this last Friday, there was a massive apartment fire on the east side. So like all 63 units, I think, burned.
Damn,
down.
that's
Yeah, so there's a lot of
Holy
people
shit.
out of houses.
terrible.
Unfortunately,
Anybody die?
no. Unfortunately, one of our reporters, the redhead that I said was pretty hot a while ago. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
Yeah.
she just started in January. She lost everything, even her car. Even her car,
Wow.
because of the fucking water damage. Like they had to fucking. There's just water spraying everywhere. These firefighters trying to fucking put this shit out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like her car got all fucked up and everything. She lost all her fucking furniture, her clothes, fucking. So basically, she's homeless. But here's the fuck what you think.
Do you have a couch?
She went to school, and I read her profile. She went to school for journalism and political science. And she talks like she's a fucking Valley girl. Like we interviewed her, and this is a quote from her. You don't realize like how much stuff you like have until like you don't have anything anymore.
Like
She said like 3 times
Yeah.
in that sentence. You're a fucking journalist.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be like Oracle just doing something stupid with English. Or like Ashtray being like, fuck Photoshop. You know what I mean? That's your craft.
Right.
That's
Sure,
what
sure,
you
right.
do.
Fuck
You
graphic
should-
design.
You're
Just
being
stick
Use
figures
interviewed.
Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, you make a living by interviewing people and coming and crafting stories. And
Yeah.
when you're being
Take some
interviewed,
pride in your
you
narrative.
sound like you're a fucking idiot millennial. What is wrong with you?
In her regular reporting, is she like that, or is it possible
I don't
she
know.
just
I
was
haven't
in
looked
her?
at-
She was in her raw, like I just like
Maybe,
lost
yeah.
fucking like everything. I don't like fucking know how to like
Yeah,
process.
it could be.
Yeah,
Could be.
could be that.
But goddamn, man, know your surroundings. You know.
Yeah. You didn't send us a picture of her yet, did you?
I don't.
I
think so.
don't think she
I don't
would
think
be
it did.
because she'd be reading off a teleprompter.
Well, they
we-
write their
we
own
use-
stuff,
So they don't.
right?
Yeah, they write their own shit.
They write their own
Oh,
shit.
do they?
Oh, they do?
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
I
that.
thought
Yeah, they're the
I
ones in
thought,
front
I
of
thought
this
they read. Yeah, I thought
camera.
they read scripts.
Oh,
So.
she's actually an MMJ, which means she's a multimedia journalist, which means she shoots it, edits it, and writes it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how they save money nowadays in the fucking news
Yeah,
industry.
no shit.
They make them do everything.
The
same way in the design thing
She
too.
looks like Juliette. Julianne Moore, is that her name?
Julianne Moore.
I sent a picture of her on Facebook.
Are we creeping on this woman that just
Yeah.
lost her
Creeping on
fucking
her.
house?
No, she isn't like super hot.
We
She's
won't
got-
share it on the
Well, we're live on the
We won't share it.
Oh,
live.
like there's anybody watching.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no one's watching. Oh, she's
Ashtray.
Okay,
totally
Joe
smashed.
Biden. Joe
for
Biden,
those
Joe
of
Biden.
you watching, is this creepy?
Oh, it's very creepy. It's very
Yeah,
creepy.
right.
Chime in.
Yeah. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. If you say it 3 times, he'll sneak up behind you and rub your shoulders.
Rub your shoulders, yeah.
Yeah. My fuck what you think is the uh this whole like he touched me in a way I didn't like, but I didn't find it sexually inappropriate. It's like Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. I am also gonna profess my Midwestern white bias because well, I don't like Joe Biden's age. I kind of feel like Joe Biden is the best match for Trump to also bring in all the people who voted for Trump because they were like, fuck it. Like, let's take a shot on this guy. Right. I think Joe Biden can dish back on Trump and also call him on his shit.
He's definitely the safest candidate.
And talk around him.
With experience.
He's a white male with experience. Talk around him. And
Obama can be his vice president. Woo!
That would actually be
right.
The fact though that like he rubbed my shoulders and he kissed me on the back of the head. I didn't think it was in any way sexually advanced, but I totally didn't like it. Okay. You know, like he actually had a good response where he said like, I in no way, had intended anything with any of these advances, in my past, but I'm willing to listen. And that's the thing too, is like, I didn't say anything at the time. Okay, don't get me wrong. We're always in a position where someone more powerful makes you feel uncomfortable, even if it's just like a weird thing, like they touch, like grab your arm or kiss you on the back of the head, and you feel uncomfortable, and so you just don't say anything. But like, okay,
I don't know what kind of workplace you've got going on, but I don't really deal with that kind of shit.
I'm trying to think from a woman's perspective, where like
no one's ever touched me like that ever in a workplace.
Lady, if you don't let go of my dick, I'm calling the cops.
Oh shit! Right. No, I had some married dude once who like fucking started rubbing my shoulders, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, this guy is starting.
Okay, I can vouch for that. At the bar and stuff. When I'm at the bar and stuff, I have had people like guys like try to hold my hand. I'm like, look, bro, it's not happening.
What?
I do have a
it's like someone I knew on a regular basis and every day.
But at the same time, I have a group of older ladies. They got to be like their 60s or 70s. And they every time they run me around a restaurant, and every time they want to put $1 in my little apron right here, so I work around a restaurant while they're there with like a bunch of dollars around my apron because they think it's funny. So I mean, it goes both ways. I like it, but it goes anyway. Go ahead.
Well, the point being though, like I'm trying. My point being is that you can always find yourself in a situation where it's like kind of uncomfortable, but you just let it slide. And the thing is like. Yeah, Joe Biden's like, well, yes, I agree. Like his statement was like, I am like open to listen. And the thing is, they didn't tell him that they felt uncomfortable.
Right.
No, because he's there stumping for them. So it's like, well, what do you expect? It's not like he did something real egregious, but at the same time, you're going to come out and be like, he shouldn't run for president.
Not like he touched a pussy or walked in on a fucking 16-year-old getting dressed.
Yes, exactly. Trump.
Raw dogged a fucking porn star while his wife was giving birth.
Why won't the press like blatantly just say, well, he didn't say he'd grab him in the pussy. He didn't walk.
It's a false equivalency. It's what they did with what's his face with fucking the dude from Minnesota who resigned.
Al Franken.
Al Franken, yeah. Oh, yeah. Same shit they did. That shit wasn't
that's the problem is
1/100th as bad as what
the
Trump
Democratic
did, but
Party
they made it out like it was.
The Democratic Party gets too afraid of the real fervent base.
Yep.
Who is also the fervent base who helps push out the votes like we just had in this election, where it's like the elections that aren't presidential elections like are really hard to get people out. And, you'll have times where it's like, oh, record turnout, but it was still only 26% of the population. 26%. It was a record turnout. Like, fuck. And like, they rely on that. They also know that base gets so incensed now And there is certain validity for the
Outraged
Republicans
at
to talk about snowflakes and stuff,
Mhm.
you know, like
everything.
because they get so.
Bill Maher bitches about it all the time.
Oh, he does, and I give him a lot of credit. And sure, it might be my own white bias, because I know plenty of, especially women who are like, I just don't like that gum.
Yeah.
It's like, oh Jesus
He's
Christ.
super sexist. I'm like, oh my God.
Anyways,
Word.
fuck that.
Fucking Joe Biden.
Thank you for that slurred rant.
All right, well, that's our show. That's our conversation
Slurred
about sitcoms.
Rant. It's a good band name.
Jesus. I didn't pick a city, but I guess go fuck
Just
yourself,
pick anywhere in
Tacoma,
Tennessee.
Washington. Tacoma,
Anywhere in
Washington.
Tennessee.
Nice.
Fuck 'em.
If you don't pick any, for your future notice, if you don't pick a city, pick anywhere in Tennessee. You'll be great. You'll be
Okay.
perfect.
Well, all of
Yeah.
Tennessee. Go fuck yourself.
Bam.
That's our show. Join us on Facebook.com / The Red Eye Report, or our website, redeyereport.com. You can also twiddle us, but Ashtray lost the password. So
You drunk
like and share,
bastard.
so fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm Mystic.
I'm Oracle.
This is Ashtray.
And I'm Teddy.
And this is the Red Eye Report. Dun, dun, dun,
Cuddle
the Red Eye
monster.
Report.
Stop stealing sitcoms.
Can't snap.